Alright. Last week, I'd say what happened last week, but it was, you know, realistically, only one thing happened last week, if you really think about it. You fought some dragons.
I lost a coffee cup. Oh, that too.
You did
rest in
lose a
peace.
coffee cup, and you did some prep work, to fight these dragons
gold,
and
though, so
fought
I'm
them
gonna go get another
dragons.
one.
But, along the way, you made a nice new
Colin,
friend.
how much gold did we get all together so we can just divvy
Wasn't
it
it
up in half?
1300?
Yeah.
Okay.
1300 is what was managed to be grabbed, and obviously the staff and the druid.
And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
So 1300 divided by
8.
8.
That should
Everyone
be
gets
like what?
162 and a half.
Yeah.
Yep.
That feels low. I think you should probably have gotten more from that.
Well,
I mean,
only
Colin,
two
that's
people-
that's
you can-
your.
I rolled max
Your call.
on the gold roll.
Why did you roll
Hold on.
yourself?
I'm gonna look up a dragon treasure hoard size, even though you didn't get all of it. You did get,
We could say after I helped break out the guy, I grabbed some too.
you did at least get some. Let me.
I'm not sick because only 2 people went to grab any kind of treasure.
Yeah.
I
think
looked
everyone
over
else
there.
helped.
It's
I
Yeah.
because Nick was helping Beaver. Beaver was doing his thing. Lou was arguing with Beaver. Connor was doing nothing, and I was helping you.
As Connor do.
I saw everybody at the frozen man down there, and I was like, oh, they got that covered. And I was just like, I'm getting me another coffee cup. I literally was like, they got that covered. I'm getting me a coffee cup.
Colin,
Roll a. I'm.
Oh, he's back.
There we go.
Colin, was there magic items in there too, or just gold?
There were, but you probably would not have had time to grab the magical items.
Damn.
Or if you did, it would sacrifice a significant portion of the gold I'm about to give you. So, I will give you. Well, I'll let you choose. Would you like a 10th of the gold total from this dragon's hoard, which I'm not going to tell you exactly how much that was, and you don't get any
Additional or total?
total.
Okay.
Or would you like a 20th and you can grab one of the magic items?
I mean, if you were saying that should have been more, the 1300 we grabbed, we could assume that 1/10 is more than what we grabbed.
Yeah, I figured that much, but I'm saying, do we want a 20th and one? You said one magic item?
Yeah, or a 20th and one magic item.
Would the magic item be
The
roughly
magic item can do
equivalent to
anything.
value?
It can be gold.
You don't, the possible magical items range pretty vastly in value.
Oh, gold. Gold.
I don't know what's in the box.
Without them here, I think gold's more fair to get.
Connor and Lou are literally abstaining, so.
No, I'm talking about Cody. Talking about mostly about Tommy.
I'm gonna ask him real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gold
we can
does-
ask him.
Tommy
Yeah.
probably say gold anyways, knowing Tommy.
It couldn't hurt to ask.
I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him while he's having family dinner. I'm not gonna call him.
Alright, so just gold?
Hey, tell Grandma, hey, what do you want from the loot?
Yeah, I think that's probably the most fair way to do it.
Alright, because a large portion of it would be in platinum pieces, you get 30,000 gold worth of platinum pieces.
So is that instead of the 1300 that we got?
Instead of the 1300.
So we got platinum pieces. That's a platinum
We got-
piece is 100 gold.
We got 3750 each. If it's 30,000 gold equivalent, that's 3750 gold.
All right then.
So everyone gets 3,750 gold.
Except Connor.
Except Connor.
His goes
mean-
right to his debt.
That is
I mean,
that is more befitting of an actual dragon's hoard, which is worth probably about 500. or 400,000, somewhere around there.
Yeah, we got some gold now.
Woo!
All right. What do you do?
Hadley's never seen so much gold.
Land. Colin, what's this realm's equivalent of Disneyland?
You can build it.
We only
That's
actually
That's called
Disney World.
investing your money.
Disney.
Disney World.
Alright, you... After this battle, as the ceiling rumbles and collapses, as everyone rushes forward, you manage to get your hands on... You've got enough, a reasonable amount of time to stuff your bags full with platinum, basically, and gems and things like that. Like I said, it comes out to about, it comes out to just rounding up, we're saying 30,000 gold pieces. So, that ain't bad. You, yank them, you just stagger away, many of you wounded. I think a couple of people got hurt pretty badly.
I mean, I died
Pretty
several
much
times.
everyone got hurt really bad.
No, I'm fine. I'm at like 91 HP.
Yeah, fuck
Karakwa,
off.
you have the staff
I got
in
hurt
one
real bad.
hand. It currently sits like wilted, and it has like sort of looks like it's dead currently. Lyra and Luciel each have an arm clutched under the still realistically frozen form of their father as they drag him out towards the dim light of the cave entrance. The roaring sound of the falls is in your ears as it sort of rises, or the sound of the rumbling and collapsing roof begins to drown it out. Each of you rushes out in time to see Klaus is just casually chilling at the back of the cave by this massive vertebra, completely unbothered by the collapsing of the ceiling itself. As you can see, the faint shadowy form of the Redeemer sort of still streams behind him, and then you have to turn and rush out as the narrow entrance begins to collapse all around you. You do manage to get away pretty... It's not really that close. It's not something you have to roll on. It didn't collapse all that quickly, really. You managed to push...
Colin,
Yeah.
could I have taken, I don't give a shit what it was, something from the dragon as a trophy? I don't give a shit if it's a scale.
Sure.
Remember, both
Keepers.
of them got raised, except for the
Some
one that's
chompers.
dead back there.
Oh yeah, there's the one that, never mind, I'll go from that. I got one from that one then, that's fine.
Walk
Yeah.
up to Beaver's thing, just like pluck something off. You want looking at him.
Yeah, I make a cut.
Yeah,
G.
you can take it. It's all yours, buddy.
Yeah, okay.
I don't
take,
need all of it.
I
Yeah,
take like a tooth or something.
Yeah, there's a whole other dragon you'll have the opportunity to harvest still at the bridge. But you manage to stagger away just as the tunnel sort of collapses behind you. A plume of dust and ice sort of bursting forth from it as you stagger away, and they're left with nothing but the sort of roaring sound of the falls around you as you have a moment to sort of take a deep breath. Slowly, Hedwig rises to his feet, and you do as well, as Lyra and Luciel each rise up. And there's a pause before Luciel turns and reaches a hand back to the waterfall, and he just diverts it straight towards Lyra, just bending the water. You can actually see his half of the crashing tide totem just glows brightly as he does so. And at the same time, Lyra lifts her hand, and her half of the totem glows equally as she turns that to just a burst of snow as the two begin to fight immediately. It's shrouded in sort of this sort of faint, almost like powdery snow that hangs in the air as you hear Luciel say, "I'm not giving it to you, Lyra." From far away, you can actually hear what sounds like other shouts. As the sort of snow settles, and Luciel and Lyra have almost sort of danced away as they use the snow and the ice around them as weapons, you can see what appears to be maybe a couple dozen druids all fighting each other in the distance, all bearing the colors of the crashing tide. While the dragon fight may be over, Luciel and Lyra have brought supporters, and they are fighting each other right now over basically the crashing tide totem.
Foolishness.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna stand by Karakwa, like just in case it starts to involve him.
Alright.
I'm guessing. Sorry, go ahead.
As the fighting rages on, you're surprised as Lyra is able to take this sort of powdered snow and condense it into what appears to be icicles that sort of fly towards Luciel, which he dodges out the way of as they bury themselves into the mountainside nearby. Luciel runs up to you and reaches out his hand. Give me the staff!
Why?
Because it solidifies my claim.
Your claim.
And you're surprised as there's almost like a burst of, like a massive snowball that barrels into Luciel as Lyra runs up to you with her hand outstretched. Give me the staff!
Tommy said, I really wish I was yelling at the twins right now. Foolishness.
We
stop this foolishness at once.
Do you do anything more than that and just shout at him?
I will shout at it as I hold the staff and start to imbue it to myself and learn the staff and try to change it to a summer to instantly warm and melt the snow in the area.
Alright. You shout, enough of this foolishness, as you sort of lift the staff into the air, and you can see it bursts forth into beautiful sort of green, verdant summer foliage. As you can feel the air around you get warmer and warmer, as you can actually feel it spread down your body. It actually moves down, melting the snow at your feet. As Lyra and Luciel sort of stagger backwards. Give me an intimidation check with, give me a wisdom intimidation check with advantage.
So is that just a wisdom?
Wisdom check. If you've got
ability check.
If you've got proficiency with intimidation, it is you add your intimidation.
I have a -1 intimidation, so no.
Damn.
Well, that's not very good. That's not very good at all.
Alright.
That's an 8 and a 6. That's a 1 and a 3, buddy.
Colin, what's
boy.
our portent today?
Oh yeah, it might not be a bad one to use the portent on, actually. Let's
Yeah, really. If that's a high roll, I say we should go ahead and burn that baby.
19.
I'm
Alright, take it.
using it.
Take
Yeah,
Use it,
just
use it.
do it.
Just take it.
19 plus 5 then.
Alright.
Portent die right off the bat.
Alright. So your portent dice for the day is used as you burst forth with fiery energy. Sort of melting the air, sort of the entirety of the snow around you within maybe 10 feet. Causes you to actually sink into the ground slightly, as Lyra and Luciel both kind of stagger backwards. Their eyes sort of watering as you sort of light up for a moment with fiery intensity before it sort of dies away. That's enough to at least cause them to pause for a moment as they look at you.
You have finally worked together. Come together not as enemies, but as allies, rescued your father's body, taken by these dragons, helped slain them, and immediately you go back to fighting amongst each other. What would you do? Kill each other? Have your other followers kill each other too? What good would that solve? None.
Luciel says, there has to be a crashing tide. And Lyra says, I'm not letting him take my part of the necklace.
Then you take the staff, and then what? You subjugate the others? Bind them to your will? Or do you slaughter them, for they are not worthy? What happens then?
The sound of fighting sort of dies in the distance. As you can see, the Druids have turned to look on. Their two leaders sort of having been pushed backwards. You still like having steam that's rising up from you and the ground around you from the snow having been melted. The air is still warm as the ground slowly begins to have a fog that forms around it as the cold air tries to rush in.
You haven't even noticed. You have not noticed how attuned both halves of your totem are at the moment, have you?
They look at each other, and then they look at their totems, each one glowing brightly, much with the same luminance, ferocity as yours glowed, as Abigail's glowed. Each of them, it seems, with equal claim, and each one still dead set on fighting the other over becoming what they see. You roll an insight check.
With 21.
They have, at least over this past fight that you've seen them, been talking obviously of there being a single crashing tide, as there's always been. There's always been a single herald. And while this fight has been going on, you notice something in particular that at least came to your attention. Just the faintest little bit of a change. Lyra didn't say she wanted to be the crashing tide so much as she said there can only be a crashing tide, and she's not going to let Luciel take her half of the pendant.
So we just need to make sure that both halves just go to crock with us.
I don't want to be the
One
avatar.
to carry it.
There's something there.
And I'm too dumb to think about it.
Thread to pull at.
Oh!
Something that seems to be less important about gaining the totem, and more important about not losing the totem.
I'm gonna ask them. It's like, why is it so important to not give up the totem to your sibling? In my culture, we're almost as one, and I understand, it might be significant of maybe your father because it was his, but that doesn't mean you should fight over it.
as Lyris sort of stands there, and she actually, like, launches another volley of what appears to be ice crystals as Luciel dodges aside. He growls and says, "It's the last thing we have of him. I'll be damned if I'm gonna let it go to her."
He was frozen, wasn't he?
Was he
Didn't you
just
take
stark
something from him
naked
now?
in the fucking ice?
Yeah,
I
I was
mean,
about to say, does he not have like a
He's got
piece of clothing
cloaks
or a
and
necklace or
clothes,
something?
but it's not quite the same. That's his essence, essentially.
What would you rather have if your grandma died? Her house or her fucking nightgown?
I mean,
You can choose between grandma's wedding ring that came from her grandfather's passed down through the family line, or you can have her old shoe.
Ooh.
The only thing you truly need of your father is his memory.
She says, "Fuck off, grasshopper."
that's fucked up.
All right,
Is that racist?
Wow.
Yeah, is that?
Did we find
That
the
is
first
racist.
insectoid slur?
This episode brought to you by no sponsors due to racism.
I mean, it's a fictional bug in a fictional world.
Damn, that's fucked up, man.
Man.
You can roll it, but you can roll a persuasion check.
That's how Bright got away with it. Because Bright was about that.
What?
Was it Max was right about racism?
Yeah,
Well, it was really racist the way they depicted those orcs.
it was.
Motherfucking
It really
Will Smith
was.
movie.
100% was.
Oh boy, I got a 9.
He
That's a
literally
nice
said the
line.
line, "Today fairy lives don't matter."
I forgot about that. Why did you have to remind me of
Will
that?
Smith is.
Wait, who
Can
said
I-
what
can
now?
I-
Will
That
Smith.
guy
There's
was
a
him.
scene in Bright where a fairy is tormenting Will Smith and he whacks it with a broom and kills it and looks at his neighbors and goes, "Today fairy lives don't matter."
Can I write it some and
Jesus
add a 4 to
Christ.
that?
Sure.
Okay.
There.
He says,
I told Tommy that the girl called Alec a grasshopper, and he says I still have disintegrate.
well, they both sort of look to their sort of fathers, still frozen, basically. They sort of look at each other. And they sort of look at you, Karakwa. And, they sort of sigh.
Colin,
Yeah.
how old are these twins?
Oh, they're young. They're definitely younger than 20.
Sure. Do
Oh,
y'all
shit.
remember when y'all came down to the swamps and visited with your father many years ago?
Yeah, it smelled like ass, aka lizard folk.
Damn.
Neither of them deserve
Damn,
it because
bro.
we're
They are-
confirmed.
they are
They're just
mega
fucking
racist.
racist.
Then
What
she
the hell?
shoots you with icicles. Pew 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 pew. She gives you the finger guns, but no.
No, finger guns.
They
So go ahead, ask me what my favorite slur is.
Jesus Christ.
You like Bofa? Both of these beef curtains slapping against your face. But they sort of look at each other. How long ago would that have been?
Well, Karakwa is about, let's see, I have to look at my description because I forgot how I said it, but he's also very young too, because lizard folks don't live for a very long time. I think I decided he was like,
They
oh
don't
my
live
God.
for a long time. They live for a good time.
Fair. It had to be about 8, 9 years, 10 years ago, something like that.
So yeah, they would have just been wee little shithead kids, running around.
But ask them if they remember that. And they came to visit the wildfire druids in the swamps many years ago with their father.
They look at each other as Luciel says, Yeah, I remember. It was hot as hell, I remember that.
This was before I had my druid name. Do you remember the young lizard boy, Grunkallen?
The name is familiar. He remember whenever we were off by ourselves because our father was dealing with the Herald, he showed us the kindness of trying to make us feel welcome and included, even if we stood out like sore thumbs.
That's the thing about being in the swamps there. We had people, not just lizards. If you remember, the previous Wildfire Herald was a dwarf himself. We had all kinds of people there. The young Grunkallen, he saw two young children who were nervous and scared.
I suppose things haven't really changed that much, have they?
I was that child. That was my name before.
Max, where's the dun 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 on the soundboard?
I don't have. You all told me not to use it. I don't have it turned on.
We told you to not use the racist ones.
No, you told me not to use any of them. Nick said if he I
I
can't
said
use them.
to
And
use
Nick was
any of
like,
them because you only hit the racist ones.
What
You dingus.
what percentage of your soundboards are racist?
I had an entire one that was
Entire
the,
soundboard of racism.
Oh, dude.
God damn it! What it was? I can't remember what the meme is now. But it involved the N-word, and nobody was happy with it.
No,
No,
Yeah.
nobody.
It's not funny.
You're
It was just
correct.
fucking
Nobody was
racist.
happy.
1 second, let me
Jesus
switch over.
Christ.
No. You don't have to
No,
worry
it's
about
just
it.
don't.
No, it's
Just
gone
don't.
now. Now
It's
we're just
gone.
thinking
It
about.
is gone.
Now we're
It
just
is
thinking
all
about racism. Thanks, Max.
Yeah, fuck off, grasshopper.
Jesus Christ.
Hold on.
All right, the two of them sort of.
I only have one button right now.
So remember very clearly when your father spoke.
Okay,
That's the sound that their dad made when he died to the dragons.
that's true.
But I do remember when your father spoke. He was very proud of both of you. He spoke highly of y'all. How well your training had been and how y'all were to be the next inheritors. One of y'all. But what really stood out to me was how much he really truly seemed to care about both of you. To see you both fight like this, I can't help but feel that it just sullies his good.
Well, maybe if he really cared about us, he wouldn't have gone off and gotten himself killed. Especially before he knew who was gonna be the actual crashing tide.
Tears streaming down her face as she says
Pretty much. Two sad children, still, realistically. When they were there with you, they were, inseparable. Best friends running around the swamp with you there, running along with them. And to see what they've become now. Of course, they,
told ye, how did the totem split?
they sort of look at, Hedwig standing off in the distance. We're sort of off to the side, maybe 20 feet away.
Hedwig is Lyra's druid, right?
He is on Lyra's side. But Hedwig, Luciel sort of says, he left it with you before he left, right? Hedwig just sort of nods his head. It's split. Right down the middle. I can only assume as soon as he died. I often wonder, perhaps things would have changed and been different if he'd taken the totem with him, but I guess in his heart of hearts he felt that he might not be coming back from it.
I've heard of stranger things.
And then whenever he didn't return, I gave each of them the piece. I thought it would attune to one, and one person would show an affinity for it. It would be as simple as that. That it would be decided. But it seems they showed equal affinity.
Can I use detect magic to see? I want to use detect magic like a DBZ scouter. I want to see the power levels of the totems right now.
Okay, sure. I'll let you augment your with your druidism. You'll understand what you see.
Sure. Okay. I'll cast it as a first level spell. Detect magic. No, roll it, stupid. Go. Beep.
As you look at them, you can see the totems light up like beacons, almost. Glowing sort of beautiful, swirling blue all around them, almost like whirling vortices that sort of come off of it. And they are really not as powerful as yours or Abigail's, but almost. They don't seem to be quite full powered, but they are both equally powered. At the same time, it's not split half and half. It's not like each one is at 50% power. Each one, as they sort of stand there, is pretty much close to maybe 80% power or so. What do you see?
See potential. Great potential. From both of you. I think you are both destined to wield the power of the crashing tide. Split between two souls who, through deep bond and friendship, become one power.
But there can only be one crashing tide.
Who made that rule?
That's just the way it's always been. It's always been one.
Maybe
Do
there's
you
a
know-
reason that the world needs two.
Do you know who the current Zephyr Quintessence is?
As far as I know, it was Dillamond, but we haven't spoken to that particular.
Dillamond has passed. The new Quintessence is a construct, a warforged.
What, a creature of metal and wood? How
Yes.
could that be a druid?
Fantastically. She is an amazing druid. Very powerful, with great potential ahead of her too, especially with the right training. I was shocked also. I didn't want to believe it myself. How could someone not of the natural world be a druid, let alone one that bears the totem? But if she can be a Zephyr Quintessence, why can the crashing tide not be split between two souls?
Indeed. It harkens back to one of the last things Dilliman told you right before you left, or right before her death. Extraordinary times and extraordinary circumstances lead to extraordinary things. Why not? Really? Why not? While it's indeed steeped in tradition that there's always a direct lineage between crashing tide to crashing tide singularly, why not? These are extraordinary times. And that, you can see, with that, they sort of slowly lower their posture slightly and look over at each other. There's a little bit of, it's hard to say animosity, apprehensiveness, wariness as the two look at each other. And then they sort of look back at you, and Lyra says, but we don't agree on some pretty important things. I think we should be paying more attention to the Empire, and Luciel thinks we should only worry about the Coldwood.
To me, that sounds like you have two very powerful fronts then. Both as rulers, as the totem. One that focuses and helps inside, one who focuses and helps outside.
Well,
I see that as a great boon for your people and for those here in the Caldwild.
I mean, it does make sense in a way, sister. I mean, crashing tide helping there and another one helping here. I'm tired of fighting. Why can't it be like what we used to be, you know? I mean, we used to throw snowballs at each other, but he sort of motions around at sort of some of the icicles still sticking out the landscape. Lyra looks at you, Karakwa, and nods her head and says, it is, I guess, at the end of the day, better for the actual Empire itself if we work together.
Not just for the Empire. It'd be better for everybody. The people here. Be better for you. Be better for your sibling here. It would be better for honoring your father's memory.
The two twins look at each other, and Luciel says, well, what do you say, sister? And she smiles and walks over and sort of reaches out her hand to his as they take hands, and initially they kind of shake hands, but then Lyra pulls her brother into a hug. And you can see almost immediately the snow begins to swirl around them. You can see it actually rises up, and as it rises into the air, it turns into like rain and tumbles back down as ice. This happens for a moment, as you can see both of the totems glow brightly. As they pull away, you can see they are both at full strength now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
What does the scouter say about their power levels?
It's equal to the Herald strength, so it's your strength, it's Abigail's strength.
Okay.
You can see sort of tears brim Lyra's eyes as Luciel kind of punches her on the shoulder a little bit, saying, knock it off, you're gonna make me cry too. I think we should probably stop our followers from killing each other. Probably a good start.
Distant screaming and murdering in the background.
As they sort of quickly rush off, you can see they actually are able to they're much more adept at using their abilities already compared to Abigail. Probably understandably, they've been raised to be druids, so it comes pretty naturally when they are able to basically shoot across the ice as if it were like a luge, as it sort of turns slippery under their feet and reforms as they sort of skate their way down the mountain. And the distant sounds of fighting soon ends as you slowly make your way down. The sound of the waterfall leaves you behind as you find yourself at the sort of getting relatively close to sort of the base of the lake itself, maybe halfway between the waterfall and the lake. And you can see there was indeed quite a bit of fighting that happened. You can see there's like splintered trees. There's some blood on the ground, but it looks like for the most part the wounds are... Any of the significant wounds, Lyra and Luciel are tending to, moving about, healing them. The other wounds, mostly sort of superfluous. There's a little bit of tension in the air, but currently the fighting is at a standstill. And Lyra and Luciel sort of once again clutch each other's hands, and she says, "This fighting has gone on for far too long. We've been trying to harm each other and kill each other for nearly 2 years, perhaps more at this point. My brother and I," and she turns to look at you, Karakwa, "we've been shown the folly of our ways. It is time for us to unite and deal with problems that aren't just within the Coldwood, but without as well. There's no need that we must focus inwards or outwards." And there's a couple nodding heads. "Go, gather the rest of the druids, gather the rest of the clan. It's time for us all to have a meeting. I suppose they'll want to meet the crashing tides," as she pats her brother on the back and sort of smiles.
Yay! In between all the dead and injured people.
Like I said, it's not... nobody was dead, and the really bad injuries have been healed up. The druids disperse, heading out into the wilderness to find whatever crashing or any crashing tides they can, those that were solitary, those that weren't at this little skirmish. And Luciel and Lyra turn to you, Karakwa, and say, "So what are you gonna do now?"
Holding the staff in my hand. Well, we've gotten what we came for here. Not just the staff.
Yeah, we're gonna want that staff back one day.
I'll be more than happy to bring it back to both of you.
But I think it's gonna be more useful to you than it is to us, at least for now.
It will come back. You have my word. For now, I'll have to confer with everyone else on where's best next to go.
We should be able to pretty quickly transport you to your airship. We do have ways of travel here.
Much appreciated, but I believe we have a slain dragon near the river to go back for first.
Indeed. And you also have pretty easy mean of travel back as well. You can just walk into a tree and walk out of it.
True. We also have apparently Klaus dead in a cavern, but
I mean, Klaus
Yeah,
didn't
fine.
leave, but you don't know what happened to him.
well, the whole cave collapsed. Yeah.
As far as you know.
I look at the rest of the group and say, "What about Klaus? I had not seen him in so long. What's his purpose here?"
I am aware of his purpose, and I've been shown a vision of fighting alongside him after he has taken his own path. I trust that he's fine.
Well,
Help
whatever
it
it is,
feel-
whatever it is, it's got dead dragons with it. I'm not quite sure I'm a fan.
Well,
His path worries me, but his
Yeah.
visions have not led us astray so far.
I was like, he's got a
I'll take
powerful
your word
friend
for it.
behind him.
We hear the Redeemer laugh in the distance.
Fucking got him.
I got his ass.
In the end, it was me who got him. I burnt his corpse.
Now, there is indeed a dragon to be collected or harvested as best as you can. Lyra and Luciel bid their farewells. The two of them heading out. Find
Before they leave,
yeah.
I know that magical communication is kind of strange and difficult for druids. I know that's more of a wizard thing, but I do let them know. Aruna, if they ever need someone to communicate, Aruna's generally our go-to person that receives such communications. Because I know there will be growing pains with them and their new way of leading together, but also in times of need. They are more than welcome to call on us too, and us to them.
Oh yeah, speaking of magical communication, I forgot Klaus has one of the earrings still.
Oh my god! But so make sure that gets told to them.
I think we'll be able to find a way to get in touch with you if need to. And obviously, I'm more than happy to take any messages that you have, even if it's just to say hello, I suppose. Check up on us from time to time. You'll always have a warm place to stay and a good meal in the cold wood.
I look to them, and I just kind of nod and ask, could we come to rely on you when the time comes? If I can have that guarantee, then this would have been a most fruitful journey then.
Lyra and Luciel look at each other, and sort of Luciel slowly nods his head, and Lyra says, "We will be able to aid you when it comes to that."
Good.
Luciel says, "We owe you that much at least. Although I can't guarantee it will be all the druids, you will have, at the very least, some aid."
Well, even if it was just you two, having two powerful heralds by our side would be more than a boon.
She says, "I'm not Herald, I'm Lyra. He's Herald," as she points at some random druid.
Rockwood closes out his Discord on them.
But they will help you as they can. They go
Another
about
ally secured.
They go about their way. Each of them heading into the snows to gather their supporters to finally rejoin the Druid clan, so the crashing tide will become one with not one herald but two. Twin brother and sister Lyra and Luciel. And you were able to go and head back to the bridge. It's a lot calmer now, a lot quieter without, a dragon fight going on overhead. You can still see the frozen and shattered timbers of the ballista strewn across the landscape. One of them remains intact, but two of them are obviously... Yeah, two of them are beyond any sort of repair. The one that Adelaide was manning, as Adelaide sort of pats you on the shoulder, Karakwin says, "That was rather good diplomacy."
Never been one of my strong suits. As he actually gives out a big sigh. But I guess I did some more good here, and that's what's most important.
They haven't killed each other. I'd say that's a win.
Part of being a good ruler is knowing when to fight and knowing when to talk. I'm not very good at the fighting or the talking part, I suppose, yet, but I sure can fuck like a horse.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. I turn to everyone. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All of you. This was a difficult journey, but well worth the cost.
I wasn't gonna leave any other druid out to dry.
You're gonna have to fill me in all this because I have no idea what's going on with this druid stuff.
I'll give you the rundown on it as we're on the airship, if you would like.
Ito
That
and
works.
Adelaide go and two of them disassembled the ballista that she was manning. The dragon's corpse still lays sort of collapsed and crumpled on the edge of the bank. It's slowly already being covered over slightly with snow. You can see the big, huge splashes of blood on the ground have now turned a faint pink as the snow continues to fall around you. He's a big old boy. What would you like to do? You want to harvest him, right?
I would like to, yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir. I will assist.
Roll a nature check. I guess
Everyone, or just
with advantage. Whoever
for
bas-
everyone?
19.
Just for
Karak
whoever's
would-
doing it.
I got
I would be
19,
doing
Colin.
it too. That's a 17.
All right.
I'd be wanting to harvest a dragon too. That shit's busting.
Oh, all those 17s.
Good thing you had advantage.
You managed to get a very between the three of you, you managed to pull off a very large portion of its hide. Like an extremely large portion, maybe solid 15 feet by 10 feet. Peeling the sort of skin away, the scales coming pretty well. It's surviving pretty well intact, but that's a big piece of dragon hide.
I smell
Say
a dragon
15 by
cloak.
20.
Roughly, yeah, 15 by 20, or no, 15 by 10. So pretty big.
Oh, someone's getting armor.
I can be used to
Yeah,
I
buddy.
mean,
craft.
15 by 10 is a lot. I think a couple people could get armor.
Can I get a dragon cloak? That'd be so cool.
It might be
Me looking
able to
at the
be-
dragon armor I already have.
might be able to be crafted into a magic item or two. But that's what you harvest from it.
Nice.
All right.
I vote we go somewhere where I can spend my 4,000 gold.
Well, I really would like to make my way to Beaz Kum Lahar because this is the closest back home I've been in a long
I
time.
vote we go anywhere that's not Beaz Klumahar.
big ass coming
Why you
here.
gotta be like that?
Because he knows I'm kidding.
Oh.
Well,
I mean, we've got the Four Seasons, or not Four Elements monastery.
Oh no, I mean, we can go to Bayaz Glumahar.
Well, that's where it is.
Oh. I don't care. Wherever the fuck.
now if you, Cody, I imagine if you want to, you can pop them into a nearby tree. Merge at the airship with little more than a couple of steps. You've gathered your materials from the dragon. You've enriched yourself a significant amount. You've recovered this staff from the cave behind the Three Sisters. And now all that's left is really to decide what next, what now, where to next. The airship is situated on the northern portion of the lake. So it's sitting right here on the world map.
Yeah.
Nipsey greets you sort of a little bit half-heartedly as she's sort of rushing about the ship with a large mallet, going up to the railings and smacking it as huge pieces of ice fall down. An annoyed look on her face. You can see her hair is sort of all sort of a mess. Her face completely almost beat red from exertion as she's just running all over the ship complaining about, you can hear her muttering, "Ship's never gonna be able to take off with all this damn ice on it. Why'd it have to be ice? Damn it!" As you can see, Carrington, also walks around every now and then smacking a piece of ice off. You can see ice hanging from the balloon has already caused it to sag slightly. And it's only gonna get colder as she sees you coming on, give you a half-hearted greeting.
Need a hand, Nipsey?
I need 4 hands, 10 hands. We gotta get the ice off this damn boat and get the hell out of here. Why is it always gotta be cold?
Hands.
She says, please tell me we got what we needed here.
We did.
And we got dinner. And it's like, produce dragon meat.
I mean, she basically tosses mallets to everyone and says, well, we'll cook it in the air. Let's get the hell out of here then. If we don't get out of here soon, I don't think the ship's gonna be able to take off. As she knocks another chunk of ice off of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my water attunement thing, my elemental attunement, just trying to take off huge chunks.
Alright. You clear the railings, the deck. You can see Yondar and Lincoln and Lysanthier each sort of going about. Lincoln carefully making his way up onto the balloon's nets and like shaking it to get as much ice off as possible. She fires up the elemental engine and there's a sort of blast of hot air that spreads out across the deck, melting it just in the localized area around the engine. As slowly the airship sort of lifts up, she turns it southward, hoping to get the hell out of the cold, or as far away, at least farther south where it's significantly less cold. As the sun sets and the stars begin to shine. Below deck, you have a feast of dragon meat. As you take it to the actual, like the bar, and Basilicus is more than happy to pour some drinks. He says, "So, about my poor ballista."
I gave him the one we could recover, or what was it, 2?
You
Whatever it
recovered
was.
1. You lost 2.
I gave it to him.
Can't say I'm really all that surprised by it. A little bit disappointed in ya, but
I'll be disappointed. I killed a dragon.
Killed 3 dragons.
Helped
Ye-
kill 3 dragons. Killed 1 for sure. Helped kill 2.
did you now?
Well, there are 3 dragons dead.
I don't suppose you came across any coin in that dragon horde?
We did.
Yay, silence.
Yeah.
How much do we owe you for it?
Recouping the cost of it. I rented it out to you for 100 apiece.
I want to say the full cost like 500.
It's
each,
500,
wasn't
so it's gonna be 800 gold pieces to recoup the cost of the lost ballistas.
Didn't we bring 2 back?
You brought 1 back.
One.
Going back.
Just one.
So we owe him 800 gold.
I mean, we each
That's
over-
like 100
over-
each.
Yeah,
we
we all give him 100 gold.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, we all just got so much gold. I'll give them 100 gold too. So instead of everyone getting 3,750, everyone gets 3,650.
Yep.
650. I'll put that note for those guys.
He nods his head and smiles and says, "Well, I should be able to at least replenish the ballistas then. I appreciate you being so forthright and paying me back. Most people try to weasel their way out of it.
That would be Ito.
Well, I appreciate it nonetheless." And he sort of pours you a large, frosty mug of ale and slides it to you. The smell of cooking dragon meat lifts up and wafts into the air as the Sky Weaver turns and sails downwards, south, and
What's dragon meat taste like?
Not
not
really gamey.
it
Imagine it tastes like snake.
does not taste good. It tastes.
How does it compare to lizard folk?
Lizard folk. It's tougher. It's almost has this weird sort of bitterness to it. It's sort of
It smells like Bengay.
stringy. It's not.
Ew.
It's not very good. At the end of the day, it is the meat of a predator, and usually predator meat often turns out not great.
That's fair.
Even so, it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. Is Bruce cooking it?
Yeah.
And give me you got like cooking tools, yeah? Give me a.
Yep.
This is gonna be probably a wisdom cooking tools check.
Alright. So, wisdom plus proficiency.
Yeah.
Alright. 21.
You know, trying some of this meat, you quickly realize is gonna take quite a bit of work to cover up the pretty mediocre to bad taste. So you just spice it extremely
You
heavily.
You gotta season it right.
You know, you really gotta season it right, and you gotta
You
season it.
only Bojangles seasoning.
Season it heavily, and you do so, and that makes it, if not good, at least palatable, and it is indeed filling, and does save you, probably gets you another week's worth of rations for all the meat that you've gathered.
Cajun dragon stew.
Which is good, because you're going to have to stop for. Right, let's see. You left Fishstadt with 2 weeks of rations. You sailed, or Verlis, or you left Fishstadt with 2 weeks of rations. It's gonna take probably a week to get back down towards Fishstadt. So, whenever you re-arrive at Vishstadt, it will be with 2 weeks worth of rations, because now you've got the extra week, essentially. From...
it worked out!
Yeah.
Heading back down to, over the lake, the sort of extremely vast lake, Nipsey, comes to you as you're all sort of still celebrating, recovering, in the, tavern itself, and, you can see she sits down with a large map, and begins sort of working with you, Alec Cool, to plot a course as to exactly where you want to go. So, where are we heading, boys?
I don't know. I think Alec Cool's something about Bayaz Kumahar.
Well, it certainly would be nice in the heat, but she sort of motions at Bayaz Kumlahar, and Bayaz Kumlahar is huge. Any particular place in mind, or?
Bruce said that.
Well, I know there's a settlement up here. That's where the monastery is.
I was changing.
I'll pick it again.
That's damn. That's way out there. Yeah.
This, oh yeah, out here.
Yeah.
This is yeah.
Thank God for flying.
Yeah, it's probably a good stop for wherever we're heading. We're going to refuel at some checkpoints.
That is true. Like I said, currently without any upgrades, the airship can only hold 2 weeks worth of supplies.
We'd have to stop multiple times along the way, but
Definitely. There's also, you know, looking at the prophecy, trying to determine what to go about next on that. Basically, you know, it's kind of up to you. The heart of Bayaz Kumlahar is, you know, there's, Alec Cool's hive is on the coast, probably, you know, somewhere around here. Let's see, Parzula, roughly right there.
should we talk about the prophecy again? Just like kind of like get a quick rundown everything from it again, since now we've not.
It's been a while since it has been discussed, so.
She's with all the recent events that have happened.
Gracie, kill yourself. No one's here. Like I said, you can all sort of gather around with a nice frosty mug as you continue sailing south and discuss the prophecy. Like I said, now it looks like you've got 2. And it's, you've got good leads on where you want to go next. It's just, which one you want to pursue, realistically.
Alright, so what is this what's the prophecy?
Prophecy these nuts smacking you in the face.
God damn it.
As was foretold.
It's pinned, right? Yeah. It's pinned in the prophecy discussion. When winter's tears fall over summer shoulders, ice will march across the hollowed Queen's land. A celestial moon will rise over a broken sun, and an age of darkness will cover the land in a second age of ice. A hallowed king walks before a white tide, seeking a missing heart, and all will flee before him in fear. The rusted crown sits atop a silver pillow, a silver dragon with 7 arms, a taut rope of 7 strands, a sputtering forge with 7 blessings. 3 daughters cry at the foot of a stoic mother, an azure spiderweb in a sea of sand. Black depths where gold rises and sets in the north, the moonlit court of a gloaming king. A room of doors where mercy is feared as greatly as pain, a green serpent wrapped tightly around a horse's neck, whispering into a gilded ear, an island that sinks into a sea of bitter tears and gleaming jewels. Silver morning will dawn where silver sun set, wreathed by a crown with 7 hidden thorns, and the hallowed king's advance will be decided when blood freezes and winter comes to a land that knows no frost.
I have a heart that we got from a white tide. I hold up my heart.
Hey guys, check it out!
Hey, I've got one of those.
Was Oler a king?
No. He was
Oh,
just
never
he was a
mind then.
hunter on he was basically just a hunter like you.
Oh, never mind then. Oh, is he a king now?
Maybe? It's hard to say.
I'm not sure if that refers to a person or like in the prophecy, or if that refers to an item. Okay, so the moonlit court of a gloam. Are we discussing this in character or out of character?
Maybe.
Both, you said? Okay.
Yes.
Moonlight court of a gloaming king. I'm going to assume that has something to do with Tommy.
Didn't we do something about that one already?
There is the Moonlit King.
Yeah,
who
yeah.
is
What
an
his
asshole we
sister
met
has
him.
the sword. His sister has that sword, sword or whatever, right? Or a staff.
Talked about a weapon that they saw, and that they talked about with her father, called the Crescent Mage Blade, which is basically her Sarune, Aruna's sister's weapon, essentially, as she ascends to the side of the, or to the level of the Frozen Queen, the Queen of the Winter Court.
Didn't we figure out something about the green dragon? The serpent refers to the green dragon from Bayaz Kulmahar? Or was that... No, the Jigma dynasty. That's what it was. Right? Didn't we get a hint? And that was what it was?
It is believed, indeed, yes. Especially because the symbol, or the flag of the Jinma dynasty, is a gilded horse on a green field.
What is the stuff that Tommy was talking about right here? I'm guessing this is from a vision. An image of ancient golden dragon's eye, silver sapling bursting into flame and blooming into an oak tree.
That is what
Yeah, that was
Alec
house.
Cole saw.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I know that was from a while ago, but I just wanted like a refresher on it. Okay.
Great beast with its back covered in foliage. Doesn't Reed know something about a dragon turtle?
There's been talk of a dragon turtle.
Well, I'm gonna assume what that is. Wait, doesn't that line up with an island that sinks into the sea of bitter tears and gleaming jewels?
Possibly.
Well, I'm asking them, not just you, Colin.
Possibly.
I mean, makes sense.
Alright, so there's obviously some sort of turtle island. Does anyone know anything about a turtle island? Colin, I was up near the weird sea. Did I hear anything about that? Would that be like a history check?
Sure.
Because I was up there, right along the sea with Gus.
Yeah.
I got a 16, Colin.
Indeed. that is something you have heard of, and it's also something that's been talked about previously, and something that Ito knows about. This idea, whenever way back in the day, when you fought the shark god Sokola, on that little demi place, there was like little carvings on the walls, essentially, very old carvings depicting what appeared to be a dragon turtle and a kraken. And you know that within the actual lore and religion of the nativers of the Wild Sea, the actual native dwellers of the Wild Sea, not the people of the Stahlreich Empire that live on the weird coast, the people that actually live out on the islands within it. They have two gods. One is a dragon turtle, which is a god of good, and one is a kraken, which is a god of evil.
Oh my god.
And
balance.
The shark.
That's on it.
The shark god Sokola was basically the kraken's demigod and sort of a representative. He was basically a demigod.
That's on the other side of this country, though, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. Well, not knocking that out right now. Because I don't think we can just teleport over there, can we?
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a long trip.
Truck.
That's what I'm saying. We need to find something over here.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like one of our last stop things. Like after we probably head back for Ito's shit on his island.
Ito is also eventually, or sort of drawn to the Weird Sea as well.
Oh my god.
He knows that the Kalam visions that he received, whenever he drank the very weak Kalam, gave him visions of his past or his ancestors, where he saw the Green Lady, and if he gets to like concentrated version of it, it might show him more, because he just got brief glimpses, but you're only going to get that from the Weird Sea, because that's where it's from.
Colin.
Yeah.
Adelaide's vestments are like rusty or something like that, right?
Yes. All of them are.
And that's her armor?
No, that's just her sword and her crown.
Oh, never mind, because I saw a woman hunched in pain, covered in tattered clothing. I wasn't sure if that was referring to Adelaide and her vestments.
I'm back.
Do we know if Klaus's dagger is jeweled?
What do you mean jewels?
That's just a small orb sitting atop a jeweled dagger.
That's
implying the orb is
referencing
jeweled.
Yeah,
the
that's-
Eye of
I'm
Vecna
asking-
and the
I'm asking
Palm
if
of the
his
Hand. Yes.
dagger was jeweled or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it,
Yes.
Yeah, we got
It
that
would be-
one.
Yep.
Colin,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell us this, but is there anything in Alakul's vision talked about that's not talked about in the prophecy? I'm asking if it's an extension or if this could be other stuff.
It's just an extension.
Well, I guess an elaboration would be a better word. I would say not an extension.
Yeah, there's nothing really talked about within his vision that wasn't in the prophecy. Essentially,
Okay.
It just sort of clarified stuff a little bit.
Do we know anything for sure about the part that says a room of doors where mercy is feared as greatly as pain?
it's,
I'm out of character. I'm gonna say it's
we
sigil.
already know that.
Oh,
what
you
was
know
that
the
one
sigil?
again?
A
Okay.
room of
Sigil.
doors where mercy is feared as greatly as pain. I think that last part of it is referencing the
The Lady of Pain in Sigil.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And like her killing you is the mercy that's feared.
Yes, we've got that one covered.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
So we got to go to Sigil, and I'm gonna assume that this island's a dragon turtle. So that's a god.
That's gonna be cool.
So where is Sigil? I don't know where that is on the map.
It's a demi plane.
Ah,
Yes, it exists in
Fine.
the astral sea.
It's like a hub. It's like a hub world.
Yep.
It's called the City of Doors.
Sigil, the City of Doors.
And like I said, the Moonlight Court is Tommy, so that's covered.
Well, I can tell you in character as Bruce that the monastery in Beas Kumahar has a Fey gate, I guess if you want to call it that.
Is it portal to the Feywild?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's I don't know if we want to do that right now, because that seems like it's going to resolve itself at some point. Also, we probably should make the decision without Tommy.
Yeah.
Well, if he wanted to be part of the decision, he'd skip his
Not see
family's
his
fun
grandma.
time.
Yeah.
The rustic crowns at the top of the silver pillow. That's clearly about Adelaide. I'm not sure about a silver dragon. A silver dragon with 7 arms again.
And us.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, I see what he's talking about.
We're pretty sure that the arms is reference to like the weapons of prophecy.
Yeah, I got that now. I figured. A sputtering forge of 7 blessings. Do we know anything about that?
I think that is the in reference to what was it? The blessing of the forge, where they first learned how to work metal. And that is referencing that our 7 weapons
Okay,
are the 7
but it
blessings
says
from-
but we might have to go. Okay, is the forge? Does Adelaide's family have that forge? Is it like in their vault?
I
mean, I don't know if I know that in character, but
There is not any kind of forge in the vault, or any kind of
Okay.
forge. The blessings of the forge were not done with an actual forge. They were actually done through basically sheer will and magic, where these blessings of the forge were created. First iron, then steel.
okay. The 3 daughters, we just did that. So we got an azure spiderweb and a sea of sand. Black depths or gold rises sets in the north, and a green serpent. I'm guessing those are the ones we can tackle.
I mean, you could theoretically tackle any of them, but those are the ones.
Yeah,
that
I know, but if we decide that the island's on the other side of the continent, so we're not going to go there right now. The Moonlight Court is clearly Tommy. You probably should make that decision without him, and then the rumored doors is us trying to get her demi-plane. And as your spiderweb and sea of sand's probably in Bayaz Gloomahar then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
pretty
definitely
certain of
there's
that,
a
too.
law.
Well suspected, indeed.
All right. So you guys want to do that?
Sure.
Car's law. Let's do it.
Because it's,
Go!
'cause it's either that one or we go to the Jingma Dynasty, I assume at this point, right?
I don't think we want to go there quite yet.
Because
I mean, I imagine.
It's cool.
I think-
First.
that's
It's on
fine.
the way.
Yeah.
Oh
'cause
shit! I gotta get an
If-
iced coffee cup.
Yeah, if Car's law is like right around there, then I think we can get there to Genmon next.
A vast,
Oh,
beautiful
also,
sea
I
of
can
sand.
bolster our forces with dudes if we go to Bayaz Kumlar.
All right, that is indeed the place to be. They say that's where all the
Oh my
cool
God.
kids are hanging out.
I do like being a cool kid.
You head
Damn it!
southwards, sailing over the ocean, the lake, past the actual, sort of as you can see, it's almost frozen to the middle at this point. It seems to be getting colder and colder. The actual city of, Vishdat is welcoming. It's inviting after the, dragon fight and the cramped quarters on the boat as you have to, takes roughly, let's see, camp to Vishdat, a few days at the very least. As you set down once again outside the city, able to, sort of go in and gather any sort of final supplies you want before you take a sharp turn straight to the south to follow the coast of Bayaz Kumlahar as far as it'll go until you hit Parzula, the glittering gem, the sort of beautiful city that is ruled over by the Bishop Usul, where your brief ally Zara Al-Din was from.
I don't know who that is.
Connor's fucking made up character that he did nothing with.
Wait, who?
He does it.
Yeah.
What are you barking at? But yeah, Bayaz Kumlahar, also a place that, I mean, Parzula is a sort of hotbed of things. That is where the Shadow Druids are from. That is, not the Long Death Druids, the Shadow Druids. That is the one that Im is
monks.
part of. Or the Shadow Monks. That's the one that Im is part of. The one that lives, they live in the sewers, basically. You know, that kind of sucks, but their monasteries in the sewers of Parzula. That is, like I said, where Reed was studying the sewer systems and things like that. But if you want to buy stuff, you can do it in Vishtat. It's a pretty sizable city, or you can hold on to that money and hope to ride it out somewhere a little bit more sizable. It will be a while, but Parzula is basically the center of trade for most of the world. So it'll be a while before you get to Parzula, but if you hold on to that money, you'll find a lot better stuff in Parzula than you will in Vishtat or Verlasan. You might it'd be comparable to maybe Weissenberg or Veskermund, but those aren't on the way.
I'm willing to wait if you guys want to wait.
Yeah.
Up to y'all. I'm cool either way.
Well, boy, we are just a bunch of agreeable fuckboys.
I don't particularly need to spend more money right now, so.
The alternative is in Vishtat you could spend a week getting an airship upgrade if you wanted to get it one.
Vishtat it is.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
There you go.
You've currently got your maximum NPCs, and you can't really upgrade it to get more NPCs, but you can upgrade armaments, you can upgrade capacity, so you don't have to stop every, 2 weeks to get new food.
That's going to be useful for flying where we're going.
You can upgrade state.
Yeah.
You could buy some more animals for the stables. You could buy all sorts of stuff. You've got, at the end of the day, on the Skyweaver, you've got still got 2 open stable slots that can be filled with anything. You've got not particularly great armaments, 2 focusing cannons, couple of mounted crossbows. Armor's pretty good. It's got that magical resistance. Doesn't have the best speed. You could upgrade. Nipsey can upgrade the elemental engine to make it go faster, as she concentrates the exhaust out the back to basically give it a forward thrust, instead of just the sort of faint drifting and wings and propellers that currently power it. There's quite a few airship upgrades you could get, but they're expensive, unfortunately.
So do we
Well,
want?
we've got a lot of money.
Yeah. Do we want propulsion or do we want storage? I think that's probably the 2 best.
I'd rather need it and not have it, and get the storage.
The storage is the cheapest by far. It's only 2,000 gold pieces.
Well, shit, we need storage in an animal.
Well, what's the
Well, if I mean, with pooled money, you can probably get
boat?
quite a bit and some animals, because animals aren't expensive unless you're getting like crazy animals.
We'd probably just be getting horses or something.
Get a fucking like milk cow and some chickens, you know.
Yeah, some horses, farm animals, other shit like that. Let's go there first, and then think more about that.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, city of Vishstad itself is welcoming. It is, you know, open and inviting compared to the cramped decks of the Skyweaver after you've been on it for, you know, a couple of days now without setting down on the lake. You disembark as actually most of the crew takes the chance to stretch their legs. Basilicus puts a closed for the day sign on the tavern as he says, "Gotta go out and get some supplies." You see, for the most part, everyone does. The only one that really stays inside still is Madame Vestia, who mostly remains in her room. Adelaide quickly disappears to go find something to drink, before she returns to Reed to continue sparring, with Ito helping her along the way.
Bees.
Within the actual town itself, like I said, it's a pretty sizable town here. Outside of like Verlasan, the closest thing to an actual city, this one's actually got maybe 20-30,000 residents. Mostly fishing docks that sort of rush out onto the frozen lake that now has ice fishing huts erected on it. Good carpenters here, able to maintain fishing boats, and at the end of the day, fishing boats not that much harder than an airship to maintain, as Nipsey goes out with you to talk to some of the more impressive and well-regarded shipwrights to see about upgrading the airships. The most popular and I guess highly regarded one is a old human, sort of wispy hair. He carries what appears to be like holsters at his, like he has a belt that has nails that are hanging in it, and what looks like holsters that hold two large hammers at his side. Despite his age and his wispy hair, he does have a glint in his eye of a man half his age. He flirts at a couple girls as they walk by, but as you approach him, he pulls out a hammer and starts trying to look like he's sort of busy. "Business is booming, don't have time for anyone right now." As he starts knocking the basically a nail into what appears to be basically a wall.
That bad, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about. But you don't even have, there's not a deception roll needed to see he's lying, as he takes out another nail and pops it in.
Well, I guess nailing more nails into the wall is better than standing there and holding the wall up.
He nods his head. "Ah! A man after my own ideals." As he sort of nods, "Wouldn't want it to fall down," pats the wall. "But I suppose if you're looking for work done, I could make some room in my schedule." As he turns and goes to the wall that he was nailing nails in, and you can see there are some postings on the wall, and he sort of leans up against it, carefully placing his hand up against the wall between you and the parchment, as he takes another nail and starts scanning down this piece of parchment. that to you, Elcool, you can see immediately it's blank. Got some writing on it that looks like a list of supplies to be ordered, but it's definitely not a schedule or task list of any kind. Very, very busy. Quite in demand. But I can fit you in for a fairly, fairly small increase in price for whatever you're doing. What are we looking for exactly?
That, as we point at the airship.
Oh, that's yours.
Yeah. And there won't be an increase in price. I'm not stupid.
What do you mean? I'm very, very busy right now, of course.
I saw the parchment. All of that was like some scribble and some things you need to go buy.
Look, we are in quite the hurry. I think we'd be more than willing to pay you a fair amount of it up front if you could get started on it now.
What do you need? Like cabinets or table or repairs?
This.
Whole repairs? What did you have in mind? I have to speak up. I'm a bit deaf.
Well, first off, we want a quote.
Yeah.
Make love, not war. How's that a quote for you?
It is literally a quote. I guess I've been had.
He pats you on the back and says,
When did we decide that we all want to look into?
He says, there. I haven't been had in nearly 20 years because no one wants me.
I thought it was a storage.
We wanted storage and what are the options that we have, Colin?
Storage, increase it from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. Speed, increasing it from basically doubling its speed, essentially. An expansion or hardness on the ship's hull itself as it's reinforced. Let's see. Technically a stable capacity upgrade so you could have 6 animals instead of just 4. More armaments on the boat. Besides the 2 basically focusing cannons and the 2 mounted crossbows.
Let's look into the stable increase and the
stable, the storage, and maybe the speed.
Yeah, stable and storage for sure.
Well, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but I suppose it shouldn't be too hard, considering I'm used to working on things in the water. For it to be out the water is as good as a dry dock as far as I'm concerned, but it's he like pulls down another piece of paper and you can see it looks like he pulls out a pen and starts writing on it. Like I said, starts jotting down lines, cool with your good passive perception. You can see he's not jotting down how much he thinks it'll cost. He's looking at a list of debts that he has, sort of tallying up how much he owes to people. Yeah. I can do the upgrade the capacity for 2,500 gold pieces. I can do the stables for 3,000 gold pieces. Let's see. And what else did you want? Oh, the speed. That's some more technical stuff. That'll require some rerouting of metal tubing. I could do that for maybe 7,000 gold pieces.
We're looking at 1250 or 12,500 gold pieces total.
That is what it comes up to. As you can see, he goes through and yes, 12,500. But I don't want to harangue you too hard. I'd be happy to do it for 12. How does that sound?
Winston, looking at this village right here, and looking around at what we have, how much would realistically 12,000 gold
It would go a
status-wise make you in this town? This town city.
A long way. It is a city, but it is not a rich city by any means.
Sure, you'd basically be the new Elon Musk in town.
Pretty much. It would be, it'd make him not necessarily top dog in the whole city, but he'd be getting up there.
How much space do we have for crew on the ship currently?
Currently you have space for, just basic crew that
Yeah,
helps
like
on hands.
the people that work on the ship, basically, not fancy
you have
people.
room for 16 people, basic crew.
And how many do we have?
And that's including you as well.
So we've got the 8 of us, Lysanthier, Yondar. That's not including.
That does include Carrington
Nipsey
as well,
and
but it does not include Nipsey.
It does include Carrington, you said?
Yeah, but Nipsey is the captain. She does not count as the crew.
Okay, so that's 11. And then the 2 bugs, Thrycreen, that's 13. So we can have 3 more crew?
Yep.
How about this? You can work for us on our ship as someone to help repair. We will pay you less gold, but you will escape your debtors.
It'd be more long term.
That would be very long term.
Well, why would I I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any debtors.
What does that sheaf paper say?
It says, my current account within the Central and Steel Mint is 10,275 gold pieces. You can see as he holds it up, just so you can see it. See? As he holds it up, using his thumb to cover up the minus right next to the 10,275.
Right. Move your thumb.
I don't see how that's relevant. Still, the point is, the quote remains the same. Regardless, it still has to be paid for, nonetheless. And
I guess we could always go search for another carpenter too. That would be more interested in a long-term, long pay.
I could, for such a sizable job, I could do it for 10,500 gold pieces. That is a steep discount.
All right. What does everybody think of that?
I don't know. Is it a
we're
brand
taking
new?
we're taking like 3,000 from Ito, right? So I think it's fair.
Yeah. Is it a brand new 2022 Kia Forte though?
It would be equal parts from everybody, including people not currently present, because it's for the ship.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
Considering we came into a far larger sum of gold than we originally had planned. So So 10,500, right?
I'm back.
Yes, and I can join you on your ship, right?
If you would like. So that would be 1,313 gold per
That
person.
would be from all 8 of
From
us.
all 8 of us, yeah.
Does that
What's
seem
up?
like a fair deal?
What sort of benefits does being a crew entail exactly? And remember, he's not an NPC. He would just be crew.
More
Yeah,
pay.
You get pay, world traveling,
Okay.
potentially aiding us in saving the world. That's a key point.
Yeah, exposure.
Also, to be fair, of all the places to be, on our boat is probably the safest you will ever be.
I have a.
I mean, it's prestige too. You get to be the shipwright that fixed the boat that saved the world.
I have a hypothetical situation.
Sure.
Just humor me. Now, were some particularly, tough guys to assault your crew? As your crew, would you be inclined to protect your crew, or?
I would be
We
inclined to
just
protect my crew,
slew.
provided
We just slew 3 dragons.
We would-
3 days ago.
we would be very much inclined to protect the crew, provided the crew didn't do something to endanger themselves incredibly foolishly, and mostly in the wrong.
What would you say is incredibly foolish?
Not taking cover when you are told.
Probably gambling, getting yourself into a debt you can't pay, and having them come and collect.
Yeah. Who would do something like that?
That being said, if you were to leave town, that wouldn't be as much of an issue, now would it?
You're right. And were I to leave town after having made 10,500 gold pieces, not having to pay back debts, it's like a double windfall.
Now,
I like it.
Because we may attack the devil.
time to turn this motherfucker into a vampire.
Jesus Christ.
Tentatively agree, at the very least, to the work on your ship. The spot on the crew remains to be seen, I suppose.
Sure.
It will take some
Okay.
time to upgrade the ship, obviously.
I'm pretty sure that's an equal action. Like, if you lure this man onto the boat with
No, I
prospects
wouldn't.
and then you turn him
I
into
wouldn't
a
do it without
vampire.
his consent.
God, Reed goes away for 1 episode.
No, if I was gonna do it without consent, I would turn Reed into a vampire, and then he just
Cool.
tears
Like, yeah,
himself
let me
apart.
just enslave this guy to our boat by turning him into a vampire, so that way he can't leave because he needs protection.
I mean, clearly this guy needs protection otherwise.
Yeah, but the sun won't literally kill him right now.
I mean, the sun doesn't literally kill me; it just makes me feel very bad.
You have a hood. If he was just a vampire thrown in the sun, he'd probably die.
No, it doesn't kill you. It just makes you feel very bad.
You can call me Tisea.
Tisea?
Just Tisea. I don't think my last name's very important. I never liked it very much.
Well, I am Alec
What if-
Cool.
What if we
You'll
just
be
say
working
it-
hand in hand with Nipsey. She is the captain and the designer of the ship.
Well, it is a magnificent creature indeed. As he goes,
Oh no, we stay on Carrington.
She's taken, by the way.
What about her? As he motions to Vestia.
She is not, but tread carefully.
Sometimes ghosts attack her in her sleep.
Yeah, this is weird. Just tread carefully.
Oh, well, I should like to get to know everyone first, obviously, but
Obviously.
first things first, I'll hash out the details with your captain and see about what sort of time frame we've got here. Like I said, it'll take That's some pretty significant upgrades you're looking for. It'll probably take at least 2 weeks.
Since we are considering taking you on board, we will need to know these debts of yours. How did you come about them?
I don't know what you're talking about. Debts? I say I have no debts. I mean, to say it has no debts at least.
Kind of just moving and staring like,
I'll roll intimidation check.
That's not a very good one for me, but I will try.
I mean, someone there can probably try to help you.
That's a 5.
I will. I'm large.
Ah! Well, then it's an 11. With advantage, then.
I may have gotten into a little bit of trouble because I tried to charter a boat for a significant sum of money, patrol the bottom of the lake, and it may be that that boat sank, and nothing was recovered from it. And I owe quite a few people a significant sum of money due to that. Money that, let's just say it didn't come from official channels. But, on my word, I swear there's something at the bottom of that lake. Like, it's so deep, right? It's gotta be... Who knows what sort of magic down there? You know, this is right outside the Druxon mountain range.
You don't want to know what was at the bottom of the lake, sir.
Well, I mean,
And I will leave it at that.
I did. That's why I went 10,000 gold into debt.
That is the lake that we fought the
You do not
Different,
want to know.
technically different lake.
Oh, okay.
He's actually talking about this lake up here.
Oh, the one up there. Okay. Well, maybe in that 2 weeks we could go look.
I mean, that'd be pretty neat. I swear there's gotta be something down there. Like, it's so deep. Plus, there's been all sorts of
That's
boats.
what he said.
There's been all sorts of boats that have sunk on the lake before. Some that probably had valuable fishing equipment on it. But yeah, he'll do the work, and he'll likely flee with you to avoid the debts he made, doing bad business ventures.
That was how much gold taken from us each? Was it
1,313.
Okay.
1313.
So 1,313.
I don't suppose you know any good business ventures that need to be invested in. I have 10,500 gold pieces to invest.
You're probably going to want to invest it in our ship at some point, but for now, I think I would hold on to it just in case.
Wisdom. I can see you've spent a lot of time dealing with money.
I've spent a lot of time keeping my money.
Very well. I'll begin working on this upgrade to this airship. Magnificent beast. Do you have a particular wood style that you like?
A wood style?
You like white pine? Do you prefer like a darker wood with a dark stain, or?
purple heartwood. It's regal as fuck.
I've got some very nice, like varnishes that can be used to really give it a nice, different sort of color. I suppose it doesn't matter.
What do you think fits?
Well, it's garish blue and gold on the outside, so I
More garish.
suppose something a little bit, perhaps a little bit more subdued within. Yes, just I think I can work with that. Something very simple, very bright. Obviously, you don't want to make it too dark. Makes everything seem closed in. Very well. He says, "Come, Captain Nipsey, right buckle. Lead the." He looks around sort of nervously at the boat. Lead the way. And he pulls out a large parchment of paper and starts quickly jotting down notes about what he's going to need to upgrade the ship. And so yeah, it's going to take 2 weeks, but he'll upgrade the airship with the speed, the actual increased capacity, the stable upgrade. So it'll have 6 stable slots. Currently, 2 of them are filled.
Awesome.
What would you like to fill those slots with?
Well, we currently have. What do we have in there? We currently have
You got a hippogriff
We've got a hippogriff and grop.
and grop.
Grop, which is a.
Like
Bird.
it's an emu.
Just like
emu
a chocobo, basically.
And I'm guessing
There we go.
Bella Griffin can fly. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And
Do we want to get?
grop can be milked, so.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
Yeah, you never
why did
Isn't
noticed
it
that?
You never noticed that grop has udders, like a cow.
No, I feel like that was a detail that was spared me.
I think everyone's worse off
See,
hearing
but-
that now.
But grop's only got like 4 udders, so it's perfect for the Thrycree. Get in there with all 4 hands. The only problem is it doesn't make milk; it makes cottage cheese.
Ew.
Oh.
Mm. Oh. Mm.
I would hate hearing that fall into the bucket, honestly.
Plop. Plop.
It's not good. All right.
Sounds like when someone's really got a shit.
But what would you like to fill out those freaking bad boys with? Might as well get them figured out here because they've got access to at least basic livestock.
Yeah, we should get like at least a cow and some chickens.
I was thinking maybe some horses so we could
Egg
travel, but
I do think that would be a good idea to have like a back gate on the bottom of the boat and just have like a little carriage that we can deploy, like a C-130.
Let's look up. Fuck.
We only like donkey milk here.
It's true. Let's see. You can get some cows, chickens, pig, goat. An ox, horses. I mean, the sky.
I'm so happy.
Yo, can I
I
get a
was able to
riding
find
lizard?
this picture of horses on a C-130.
how fucking horrifying.
I feel like a riding lizard is probably a little bit too exotic for here.
Damn. All right. Wait. I'm the riding lizard.
All right.
How does horse milk taste, Colin?
Depends on
Salty.
depends on how well you know the horse.
How the fuck do you know that?
I was joking. That's cum.
It's sort of slightly musky, salty. All
It's
right.
like a soggy biscuit,
Well,
which is the name of my horse at Kentucky.
thanks. I hate it.
I mean, it's not as good as Secretariat, but I mean,
Calendar, where are you at? I'm gonna move it forward 2 weeks. All right.
Are we not going to explore anything during the 2 weeks? Or are we just gonna curtain
I
seal it?
thought we were doing that late.
Nobody says anything. It's going 2 weeks.
Do you guys want to go down to the lake while we're
I
here?
figured
I
we'd do
mean-
something like that. We give us something to do
Yeah.
for 2 weeks. Why not?
yeah,
I'm still high off of killing 3 fucking dragons. Let's go.
yeah, we're hot shit right now.
As opposed to cold shit like normal.
I want to get my Lubussy broken back out by a fucking monstrosity in the bottom of the lake. Shut up, Laura. I know you're about to say something.
All right. If you want to pursue the bottom of the lake, how would you like to go about that?
I walk down to the bottom of the lake.
I have my water breathing helmet. I will swim.
Normally
I
you
use
wouldn't be
alt
able to do
yourself
anything.
and water breathe and go down.
Normally you wouldn't be able to do anything like that. But Alakul's built differently, so he can't.
I am built differently.
All
I mean,
right.
I have water. Wait, don't I have water stuff? Because I'm like a lizard full. Don't I?
I
Have
can
that?
I can just turn into my shark form and go down there.
I could turn into an animal also. I can hold my breath for up to 15 minutes. So. But also
That'll be,
turn.
that'll
into
be
an
great for the
animal.
hot tub episode.
Oh my.
It's true.
Hey, I can hold my breath for 15 minutes. That doesn't just mean underwater. Wink, wink.
Who has resistance or immunity to cold damage?
I do. I've got resistance.
I don't
I-
think I do.
Colin, do I get it when I transform or no?
You have whatever. You transform
I
into
have,
a
I have
shark.
I have the water breathing thing.
Oh no. It's still
Okay, never
just
mind.
your
I don't
your
then.
resistances.
I can also probably cast spells for breathing underwater. Let me see what I got.
Well, it seems like more of the issue now is cold resistance.
Hey, I have that. I can I mean, I can cast that on everyone. Just give me a few moments.
I can get a combat trained riding gecko.
Yeah,
Like
I can
400
prepare
gold.
water breathing and cast that on everyone. I can cast it on up to 10 willing creatures. It lasts
Oh.
for it lasts for 24 hours.
That's
You retain your normal mode of respiration, so you can just breathe underwater.
true. I think probably got frost resistance potions left, right?
I think
I
we
think
used
No,
so.
all.
we used all 5 of them.
Yeah, we used all of them.
Oh, that's
No
right.
wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me unprepare a spell, and I can I'll prepare that right there and cast it on everyone before we go.
So you've got 2 weeks to plan.
Yeah.
As there's
Do
not,
we want to do that with everyone, or
Could
do
we
wanna
get
do that-
more of those plants and just make more frost resistance potions but in 2 weeks?
I mean, yeah, but the point is you have to succeed the roll to make them still.
I mean, we got
That's
2 weeks
fair.
to do that.
We also have a lot of gold. I can't imagine they cost like that much.
You can buy them. I just need to know how you're procuring them to see what you need to roll or how much you'll have to pay.
Alternatively, buy the plant.
I mean, I'm willing to help look, even though I don't need them. But I will not be buying any.
I would also be willing to look for like maybe into getting cold resistance for myself.
With that cloak that I have, Colin, the fire dervish, it doesn't actually keep me warm or anything, does it?
Wait.
No, not in
Guys.
the water.
We have white dragon hide.
I was about to say, Couldn't we make
Why
like
don't we
a
make
couple
something?
cloaks of white dragonhide that just give you frost resistance or cold resistance?
Want to?
Colin, would an item that gives me cold
Hey.
resistance be an attunement item?
Not necessarily. Depends on how strong it is. Probably just basic cold resistance. Probably not. I usually don't make because I know suppose a cloak of resistance is like supposed to be, or a ring of resistance is supposed to be attunement, but I always thought I was too weak to bother with fucking resistance or an attunement slot. But yeah, you could make something that is resistant to cold. Probably with the dragon hide. You have to obviously like pay for it to be crafted, but providing the supplies themselves is, you know, wouldn't be too expensive at the end of the
I
day.
will pay for one of them so long as it is mine. My character already wears like a big cloak, so if I could just get like a second one.
Okay,
That'd be
Colin,
cool.
what can we get with what can we have made though? Because we don't know.
You want boots? Ask them to make boots. You want a cloak?
Okay.
Ask them to make cloak. Bracers? They can be made into braces. Bracers. Armor? Be made into an armor. Just whatever leather could be used to craft it into.
Do we have
And
enough for everyone to get something if they wanted it? Because if not, that doesn't seem very fair.
You could
Oh my
probably
God.
make maybe 3 of something.
Let's not just make cloaks just because we need some frost resistance too. Let's think
I'd be
about what
fine
we can actually
Going to
make.
get, like
Yeah.
a ring that gives it.
I mean, we could also, like you said, we could always try to make some more potions too.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking like in the long run against
Sure.
the fucking Everfrost, like
Yeah,
having
does
it
having
nice.
cold resistance really hurt us against them?
No. Don't they like almost exclusively use cold damage?
No.
No, they use like weapons
Oh,
and stuff.
never mind.
But, Colin, I'm gonna go try and like purchase a cold resistance like ring or necklace or something.
I'll go with them too, see what they got.
Rings of resistance are, not exactly an uncommon item. So whenever you go into pretty much any, like, basic, well, I won't say basic jewelry store, but basic sort of, magic store, of which this town has maybe 2. Something as basic as a ring of resistance, not too hard to find multiples of, actually. Just gold and silver bands that sort of have these tourmalines that are set within it, glittering from beneath a magically protected case. You can see you can pretty easily afford, or you can easily get one for everyone in the party, and at least they have the numbers for it. But each ring ends up costing 500 gold pieces for a non-attunement ring.
I purchase a ring.
I'll
for
get one
myself.
too. I get one too. Wait,
I would
do
like-
vampires not have cold resistance, or is it only necrotic?
They don't have cold
I don't
resistance
get
or
any
necrotic
resistance.
resistance.
That's
I got
lame.
+2 to my strength, dexterity, and charisma or something like that. And then like the vampire blight attack, and that's it. Which, Colin, if it is at all possible, I would like to try and empower my vampirism, if that makes sense, at some point.
Alright.
I would also like to get a bag of holding while we're here. How much
I'm
would
still
that be?
shocked that we've managed without one for so long.
Right?
Let's get a.
I mean,
And
Yeah,
like,
me
it
too.
would have been so good for the fucking dragon horde.
Just like drag it through.
Exactly. We got 10 seconds. Don't worry, I got this. Shing.
Just stuff the fucking. Christ.
Well, I have added a ring for myself.
You know what? I'll be fine.
How much does that cost, Colin?
500 gold.
For your rings. That's for your. I'm talking about the bag. I don't need a ring.
Oh.
For
Okay.
the what?
Bag
The
of holding.
bag of
I want to get one of those.
Oh, a bag of holding. That's probably like 200.
Something you just find at a supermarket.
Yeah.
It's like 250
Colin,
gold pieces.
is there another magical tea shop where I can go get one of those cool coffee cups again? I legit want.
Look for the nearest Starbucks.
There is a tea shop, indeed. A rather run down one, realistically. It's not the world's greatest tea shop. It doesn't look like the tea is very popular here for some reason.
It's named Dung Water.
It is basically,
Ew.
the inside is covered with dust and sort of old browning doilies. It has basically wooden boxes of tea, many of them sitting half open. You can pretty quickly see that there's mold growing in some of these teas. It would make a pungent and interesting flavor, to say the least. But its actual safety, that is a little bit questionable. The proprietor is what appears to be a surprisingly young man, maybe in his late teens to early 20s. He is sitting behind the counter with his feet up. He has a book in front of him, and he does not even notice you enter the shop at all.
I kind of don't want to buy the coffee cup here now.
Because he didn't notice you?
No.
The poor customer service.
The poor customer service. The fact that the
Yeah,
store
for
is
you.
dirty. The store is dirty. There's mold in these teas. The doilies are old and brown. It's not gonna be good coffee.
It feels that way. How good could it be?
I turn around. I walk out and I walk out and leave. I will get my coffee cup elsewhere at a different town. That's fine with me.
Fucking hell.
You didn't want to deal with him.
No, his shop's all dirty. I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Damn.
That's not gonna be
What the
good
fuck,
coffee.
Max?
It's not gonna be good coffee.
That kid's dad's gonna be pissed.
Thank
Let
you.
him.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Have a good day.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't even notice you leave. Continues reading it with his head in his book, reading away.
Exactly.
Other than that, unfortunately, not a abundance of tea shops within the town.
I will also subtract the 500 gold, though I will buy a ring of resistance.
Beautiful.
Do we just add it
tourmaline
ourselves,
ring.
Colin?
I can add it to you.
Okay.
Ring to myself. I would need to import my character sheet on Foundry again, but I imagine that's not.
I mean, he
Pertinent
knows
to right
knows
this
we
moment.
have it, so.
All right.
Oh, how much did we deduct for the ship parts or whatever?
13.
Yeah.
13 each. Okay. Still looking good.
And we got a fuck ton of gold still.
Oh yeah. Alright, like I said, if you want to, it's not too hard to get your hands on a ring. They've got plenty in supply. You hand over the 500 gold pieces and slip it onto your finger. Immediately feeling a nice warmth that settles over you, giving you resistance, not just to the cold air around you. For the most part, you are okay with the warm clothes, but to cold damage period, allowing you to dive with relative ease into the frigid depths of this lake. Is that something you want to do next week, though, when people are here?
Let's do that
Yeah.
next week.
Oh, it's already 7 too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'd
we
rather
can.
do
We
it.
should
We
do
can
that
do
with
it next
everybody
week.
else. That's fine.
Yeah, we were gonna just do like the discussions and everything, and without everyone, I think do the actual exploring of possibly our own deaths. I think everyone should be there for that.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's probably nothing even down there.
Watch there actually be nothing down there. It's just, well, they wasted all that time for nothing.
Just a bunch of rocks.
Just sunk boats. Alright, well, next week you will figure out, you'll basically dive to the bottom of the lake, see what's down there while your ship is getting worked on, then set forth to Bayaz Kumlahar, sailing along the
Bayaz
southern
Kumlahar.
coast to find Har Zula, the shining gem within the desert.
Oh my god.